The Royal Rumble was completed just about 2 days ago on Saturday in Saudi Arabia. And in all honesty, the Royal Rumble was a mix of hot and cold. There were some good moments, and then there were some bad moments. If I had to look at probably the best moment, which was probably the AJ Styles versus Gunther match, which was a very, very good match. I felt like AJ really played at the crowd. Gunther was definitely one. I say right now, Gunther's one of the top heels when it comes to the company in terms of this. And then the referee also did a very big job at selling this match. You know, like when AJ's getting ready to tap out, he's asking AJ, "Are you gonna tap out?" And little did I know, I didn't even know this because it was said in the match that the referee for the match had a history with AJ back when he was in TNA. I have some history watching AJ in TNA because my favorite superstar, Jeff Hardy, when he originally left WWE the second time in 2008, he went to TNA. AJ was big in TNA, so they had a couple feuds over there. He was in Fortune, basically with Ric Flair, then had his whole Lone Wolf segment, and then he left TNA and came into WWE 10 years ago at the Royal Rumble in 2016. And since he's been in WWE, he's won multiple world championships. He's won the Intercontinental Championship, won the United States Championship, and AJ has just been one of the best superstars that WWE has ever had. So now that he is retired, it is a very sentimental moment, and I am recording this just about 2 hours away from Monday Night Raw. And when AJ ended the match, he was about to put his gloves on the mat and then put him back on, which I definitely signified that he's not done wrestling, but he's done wrestling for the WWE. I fully expect him to end his career in TNA. Where it started, he's going to end it. But that match was definitely probably the second best match of the night behind the women's Royal Rumble. But let's get on into Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn, because Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn came on right after the Gunther versus AJ Styles match, and it was a very obvious match. I mean, Sami Zayn was definitely going to be the crowd favorite, the underdog to try and beat him. He's never beat Drew McIntyre in any singles matches so far for a championship or in any pay-per-view event, so Sami Zayn was definitely the underdog for this event. And WWE played this out very, very well. And there were some moments where Drew was absolutely beating the hell out of Sami Zayn. And it was like Sami Zayn really wasn't going to make it. But then, of course, then there was a couple moments where Sami, had underdog moments. He started to come back. But then Drew McIntyre just basically hit him with the Claymore kick. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre retains. And I fully expect Drew McIntyre to keep the championship up until WrestleMania, where he'll probably lose it against Cody Rhodes, if I had to say anything. And then we had the 2 Royal Rumble matches. Let me begin off with the men's Royal Rumble before I get into the women's, because the women's is one where I have a lot to talk about, and a lot of my frustration kind of comes from the women's for particular moments. The men's Royal Rumble, the biggest surprise was, I would probably say, Obafemi looked amazing, having 5 eliminations in the match. I believe him and Roman Reigns tied for the most eliminations at 5. He was looking like a magnificent star, coming in at number 1, lasting a good amount of time in the Rumble, eliminating Braun Breaker, and then the whole Braun Breaker thing with the mass hoodman attacking Braun Breaker, curb stomping him, and then Obafemi just getting an elimination. And Braun Breaker, one of the favorites for the Royal Rumble, was instantly eliminated. That is unbelievable. Because I fully expected Braun Breaker to go a long way in the Royal Rumble, and considering the fact that he didn't, it really just plays up the storyline, and I'm expecting more of it to come, more of the development to come tonight in Monday Night Raw's episode. But still, other key moments in the match, Royce Keys, otherwise known as Powerhouse Hobbs, debuting in the match was a very good thing, and I definitely can see Powerhouse Hobbs, Royce Keys, doing very well in the WWE because he has a typical build of a guy you can see as a possible world champion, and the way they had him debut and mentioned that he used to be formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs. I like that they acknowledge that when it comes to that, so Powerhouse Hobbs definitely had a good moment. And then I would probably say LA Knight was probably the biggest return of the night, and LA Knight's return was kind of really expected because he got taken out by the Vision back in around November, December, and we were all expecting LA Knight to return at the Royal Rumble. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. The one return I was fully expecting, because I was seeing all these articles talking about Chris Jericho returns, and I wanted Chris Jericho to return because I love Chris Jericho. I love his theme song in the WWE, but at this current moment right now, I don't really know what's going to happen. Still, Brock Lesnar eliminating Obafemi. I don't know what WWE seems to do with Brock Lesnar and black wrestlers, because anytime a black wrestler's in there, Brock Lesnar seems to just go after them and eliminate them. And there was obviously a moment where we had Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans, the three main guys from NXT last year, all putting in a very good performance. Trick Williams, I feel like he kind of got eliminated a little bit early, but I mean, Trick Williams is still going to be a star in WWE the way they've been presenting him. And then number 30, which was Gunther in the match. Gunther being number 30, I mean, they kind of mentioned it during the AJ Styles match that he was going to be in the Royal Rumble, so I kind of expected he was going to be a later entrant. I just didn't expect him to be number 30. But ultimately, it came down to the final two. It was Gunther and Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns ended up winning the Men's Royal Rumble, which means he'll go on to WrestleMania to main event again, and I fully expect him to choose CM Punk as his opponent for the World Heavyweight Championship, because that's the one title Roman Reigns has never won in the WWE. And then we come on into the women's. The first two was Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, and I'm not even going to lie to you guys, for the first 9 entrants, besides those two, the next 8 to 9 entrants I kind of missed because I was dealing with trying to get Netflix up and trying to be able to watch it. But after that, I was able to get certain moments. I want to give a shout out to Lash Legend. Lash Legend looked like a fantastic star in this match. She was definitely one of the MVPs. Sol Ruka, an NXT star, looking very, very well. Jordan Grace having a good couple moments. But then we come on into the tag teams turmoil. We had Charlotte and Alexa. Charlotte accidentally eliminating Alexa. We had Rhea and Io, Kairi and Asuka. Kairi accidentally eliminating Asuka, and I'm fully expecting tonight on Monday Night Raw for Asuka to berate Kairi for eliminating her, considering Kairi said that she was going to help Asuka win the Royal Rumble. So yeah, it's gonna come to the moment, and then I don't know. WWE just loves to frustrate me when it comes to Bayley. Lyra, I think it was I forgot who came out first. I think it was Nikki that came out first. Then it was Bayley. Then it was Lyra, and then at number 29, I believe the biggest return of the Women's Rumble was Brie Bella. No AJ, no Bianca Belair. And you say the biggest return for Brie Bella, and then you have the Bella Twins eliminate Bayley. I literally just made a whole video talking about Bayley, and one of the moments that I did not like from Bayley that I felt like WWE was disrespecting her is when she had that WrestleMania moment where she was the host, and then the Bella Twins embarrassed her, and now we have the Bella Twins eliminating her and Lyra Valkyria. What is WWE so obsessed with this whole Bella Twins movement? The Bella Twins are good wrestlers, good at best. They are not great. They are not world class. They are not elite. They are Hall of Famers due down to their TV show. Nikki was the longest reigning women's champion because AJ Lee was CM Punk's husband at the time, and a certain person did not like CM Punk at the time. So give them their dues. They're good wrestlers at best, but I was bro, you should have seen my face when I saw the Bella Twins eliminate Bella Twins eliminate Bayley and Lyra. I literally sat down on my computer, walked away, and I was just like, and then the minute Lash Legend eliminated the Bella Twins, I was like, yes. Because you could have gave that moment to Lash Legend, and that would have meant a lot more. Lash Legend is an upcoming star, and her eliminating two superstars like Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, two very good women's wrestlers, and Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, that would have went a whole lot better. And it's been announced that Brie Bella has signed to Raw, so if they're planning on doing a feud with Bayley and Lyra, I just hope at the end of this, Bayley and Lyra win the feud, because there's no point of the Bella Twins beating Bayley and Lyra if they're just not going to be in the company for that long when it comes to that. And they're not going to be, they're not really like full-time wrestlers. They say they are, but they're not really full-time in the general sense. But ultimately, Tiffany Stratton came out at number 30, and it came down to Tiffany Stratton, Liv Morgan, and Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka tried to go for a Soul Snatcher off, outside, and then Tiffany Stratton pushed her out, and then Liv Morgan went and hit the Oblivion on Tiffany Stratton outside the ring, and that's how Liv Morgan ended up winning the Women's Royal Rumble. And Liv Morgan was if I had to get, I didn't really get my predictions for the Royal Rumble match, but if I had to say early on, I would have said Liv Morgan was going to be my pick. The other pick would have probably been Tiffany Stratton or somebody like Bianca Belair had she returned, but she didn't. And this finger injury is just keeping her out for so long, so I don't really know what's going to happen when it comes to Bianca Belair. But I just want to say congratulations to Liv Morgan on winning her first Women's Royal Rumble. Congratulations on Roman Reigns winning what was supposed to be good men's Royal Rumble match, but ultimately did not turn out to be that. And overall, if I had to give it this rating of this pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble, if I had to give a rating from like an F to an A, I'd probably give this Royal Rumble at least a C minus, probably just a regular C, because like I said, the returns to this match were kind of really expected, and the biggest return of the women's match was Brie Bella. The biggest surprise was Powerhouse Hobbs debuting as Roy's Keys, and that was just really it. So the next WWE pay-per-view is going to be Elimination Chamber, and when that time comes, I'll be giving you guys my review of that show. But overall, like I said, the show was a C, and they could have done a whole lot better. And let's just hope that next year's Royal Rumble, wherever it's going to be, it's just going to be a lot better than this event.